Nicki Minaj, top 50?
Easily.
Okay.
Easily top 50.
That one's a trap, you know. You say no. If you say no to Nicki Minaj top 50, I can't have a conversation with you about hip hop anymore.
Barbs, I'm gonna wait till at least 5 minutes into the pod before we upset you. We're not gonna do it so early, okay? Stay for a little while while things are good. Good afternoon, beautiful people. This is another episode of Album Mode. We review a new album every single week. We look at the lyrics, the production, the overall aesthetic of the album, and how the album fits into the context of that artist's career. For all those beautiful people watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. Please help us get there. Of course, my name is Adriel Smiley, a.k.a. AdrielSmiley.com, a.k.a. Adriel Smiley Official, a.k.a. The Godfather. And we are here with His Royal Highness, a.k.a. The Bunny, a.k.a. The Barb.
I don't know about the Barb.
King Grant.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. We're back. It's Album Mode. We're also here with our producer, Agent Zero, Patient Zero, Chris. And we are reviewing the the Barbie herself, the queen herself. Roman? Nicki Minaj. She has dropped Pink Friday 2. I think I saw that a lot of people are taken aback by the 2. But it's hip hop. We actually do 2s. You know,
what's the problem with
this is
that?
the one genre or maybe I think they do 2s and maybe like rock and roll every once in a while. But we do 2s.
Yes.
And yeah, so she's dropped her latest album, Pink Friday 2. Something that has been bubbling all year. I believe it got pushed back as well.
Yes.
Right. So she's had this in the tuck. She was on the Barbie soundtrack, and one of those songs is on this album.
Of course.
She had to be. Like it was actually, you know,
You
it would have been.
You couldn't do the movie without her.
Yeah, it kind of would have been sacrilege to have a Barbie movie and not include the person that's been basically calling herself Barbie, her group of fans, Barbs, before it was like cool, before Barbie was cool again.
Yes.
But I would consider Barbie cool right now.
Yes. Barbie had a good year.
Yeah, Barbie having a good year. Also, I'm wearing pink festively.
Dressed like a Barb.
Yeah. So yeah, Nicki Minaj, Pink Friday 2. How have you felt coming into this? Tell me about your thoughts. What was happening?
Honestly, I have not been the biggest Nicki Minaj fan over the years.
Oh.
There are several songs that I can highlight that have just rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay.
But I'm a fan of hip hop. And you can't tell the story of hip hop without Nicki Minaj.
Facts.
So this to me felt like an important album. I don't always feel like Nicki Minaj's albums are important to me per se. I'm not a Barb myself. It's not how I identify. But this album, I was like, this is an important one. There's not a lot of writing on this, but this just feels like a big album for hip hop for Nicki. So I was just kind of feeling that this was a monumental project.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think that Nicki Minaj's place in hip hop is actually extremely important. But obviously in hip hop, and we've talked about this in previous episodes, in hip hop, dudes typically are dictating the discourse of hip hop.
Yeah.
And most dudes that listen to hip hop are not listening to the women's albums in hip hop, even though that they're like extremely important. Like they're like women's hip hop, especially currently, is like actually
at its peak, I'd say.
At its peak and probably driving the form right now. People like Nicki Minaj, Doja Cat, Cardi B.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously, I was going to say Ice Spice. Ice Spice.
Ice Spice counts, yeah.
Ice Spice counts, also driving the genre, right? So, yeah, I think that this album is extremely important. Nicki Minaj, top 50?
Easily.
Okay.
Easily top 50.
That one's a trap, you know. You say no. If you say no to Nicki Minaj top 50, I can't have a conversation with you about hip hop anymore.
Barbs, I'm gonna wait till at least 5 minutes into the pod before we upset you. We're not gonna do it so early, okay? Stay for a little while while things are good. This obviously is a follow-up to her debut project, Pink Friday. Now, we haven't done a Nicki Minaj album on Album Mode. Her last album was in 2018, Queen. And,
that was okay. Actually, did you listen to that one? Be honest.
Yeah. No, I did. Of course.
I did listen to that one too. It was okay. I like Good Form, LLC. There's good tracks on that.
That album was good, but that album was the most rappy she's ever been. That kind of gave the vibe of like when the artist wants to prove to you they can rap, you know? Kind of like what Jack Harlow did this year with Jackman. comparing that to his recent singles, is like, they just want to let you know, listen, I can rap. In case you forgot,
Yeah.
I'm really good at this. So we're talking about sequels. Pink Friday was her breakout. And so I went back to Pink Friday a little bit to look at that project. So many hits on there.
Yeah.
Check It Out, Will I Am. Forgot about that song. Your Love.
Yeah.
Moment for Life, which still murders at karaoke.
It does. That's so true.
Right Through Me. Did It On 'Em. And of course, Super Bass.
Yeah.
Now, Super Bass was like the surprise single. It didn't plan for it to be a single. It was actually the 5th single release from the project. And this is before the audience chose the single. This is when the label actually decided what the singles were. And that was when I kind of fell off on Nicki Minaj. Super Bass wasn't as bad as it got later on in her career, but that was the start of me being like, she's gonna do this whole pop thing.
Oh wow, you were out. Wow, you're already out at that point. Or falling out.
I didn't want anything with pop Nicki. Okay. I want to rap Nicki. Of course, this is still her highest selling album to date. The first Pink Friday, and it was the highest sales in the first week for a female rap. Basically in that century, and the second highest overall. Number 1, do you know who it is? Highest selling first week for a female rapper. Pink Friday is number 2. Do you know which album is number 1?
I'm gonna say. Let me say, Super Duper Fly by, why can't I remember her name?
Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
Good guess. This album's not really a rap album, but by a female rapper, Lauryn Hill. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. I know we just push the album into any category, whichever stat.
I know.
It fits.
Yeah. Whoever wants it can just grab
like
onto
a LeBron stat.
Yeah.
So 2010, she comes on the scene, and this is like everyone called the resurgence of female hip hop. Missy Elliott was a little bit past her prime. Eve had really stopped putting out consistent music.
Yep.
Khalees was doing whatever Khalees was doing. And so there was a huge void that needed to be filled. And later on in that year, she ends up on this song with Kanye West, Jay-Z, and Rick Ross. And one brings up, this is one of the most memorable verses basically in hip hop history. Definitely in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But in the history of hip hop, there are not many verses that you can point to as like a moment on the timeline, just in general. Do you remember where you were when you heard this verse and what was going on? Because this was one of those verses where you were like telling your friends, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? So tell me about that time for you.
I don't think so. I don't think I have like a crystallizing moment for the Monster verse. No, I feel like I did. When I heard it, I was like, she's snapping. And I felt like that on a couple of songs on this album.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, she is going crazy, like the creativity. And I think that with Monster, I remember hearing it and like that was probably the first verse I actually like memorized.
Damn.
Because I was like pull up in a tank of color of Willy Wonka.
Yep.
Right.
Pull up in a tank of color of Willy Wonka.
You could be the king, but watch the queen conquer. Like I remember it, bro.
Yeah. That was a big moment. And if anyone remembers, that was when Good Fridays were happening.
Yeah.
And Good Fridays, if anyone doesn't know, before Kanye put out My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he had this mixtape series, Good Fridays, and every Friday we get a new track. And sometimes it might be Friday in the day, sometimes it might be Friday at night.
Yeah.
And if we're looking for trouble, it ended up being on the Saturday. But this was one of those tracks. And Monster was one of the first ones where everyone's like, oh, Kanye's coming. Kanye is on the way. And so for her to be the climax of that song was a huge moment. Kanye, of course, appeared on Pink Friday, the first one. But for her to get this shout out with the biggest artist in the world at that point, she was on.
And she was doing her she was the best verse on the song. It wasn't even close.
More than doing her thing.
Yeah, she killed Jay-Z, everybody. Yeah. It wasn't even Have you seen the music video for that?
Yeah.
The music video is that music video is deep in the depths of the internet. You have to dig for it, bro.
I don't know why there was such a like low-key music video, but it really is. And again, when there's a time that we've seen, and I would say even since then, on a posse cut with a bunch of men where a female has stood out. That is like rarefied air in hip hop. And so we're talking about greatness here. We're talking about Nicki Minaj. Of course, she continued to put out albums. She was on American Idol for a little bit as a judge.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
Totally forgot about that.
I totally forgot about that.
Queen Radio.
I remember that.
She has that show. 23 top 10 singles, the most for any female rapper. 6 solo singles. I want to say here that we got to redo history, how we talk about history. I've said it. You've said it.
Yeah.
The whole top 3, we got to change that.
Right.
It's a top 4.
Yeah.
Drake, Nicki, Kendrick, and Cole. And I think it should go in that order. I think Nicki is, the greatest female rapper of all time.
Yeah.
And in hip hop or in any genre, it's very rare that you can be the greatest of anything undisputedly. And that's what Nicki is.
Mm-hmm.
There's no 1A, 1B. She ain't sharing it with nobody. She is the greatest. So for that alone, I think we got to put her in a whole different category.
Yeah, she's definitely we should call it the big four.
Yes.
Right? We call it the big three. But again, like I said at the very beginning of the pod,
Yep.
dudes dominate the discourse when it comes to hip hop. So they don't listen to women's music and hip hop.
Here.
Yeah. So that it becomes a big three when Nicki Minaj is easily on par with these guys. So I think that we should be considering it that, as always, Big Four era. She should be on that Mount Rushmore.
100%.
That hip hop Mount Rushmore. Again, that she is never even considered on. She should be. She's the greatest women in rap ever. Right? So she needs to be on that Mount Rushmore. Yeah. I think that, I think that it's totally, totally deserved. I think that she has gotten to this point where I would say she's kind of in a legacy act, even though that she's still extremely relevant.
Yeah.
Like,
very good mix.
Yeah, she exists on the internet in a way that is sincere, which is at this point in time a novelty. Right? Like most people who are like they have their Twitter account, she tweets from her Twitter account. Like that's her.
She's going crazy this week.
And she goes on Instagram Live and like reads people's comments and shit. Hey, that part is like, do you do jumping jacks on the D? And she is like, what the fuck? So she is still actively out here.
Is she still? She at one point was the most followed woman on Instagram.
That was a long time ago. Long time ago.
I thought it was last year.
I don't think so. Selena Gomez has been number one for time.
Selena overcame her, but when Selena came back to Instagram, I think Selena left Instagram. I shouldn't even know this, but Selena left Instagram and came back. and
She's not in your sphere. That's not on your timeline.
I just shouldn't know that. I don't even follow Selena Gomez, so I just shouldn't.
I think Selena Gomez is the most followed person.
No, right now she is. Yeah, for sure. But I think she had left Instagram, and then Nicki kind of took her title. But Nicki is popular, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj, huge.
Yeah.
Deservedly so. Super bass. I enjoyed super bass. Okay. That I got that. Yo, how do you not like that song? Okay.
That's so we're same journalism school, different classes.
Yeah.
My class had like a little like after party type thing after our graduation. I forget where we rented out like a little bar and we had our own thing.
Yeah.
And Super Bass came on, and that was when I knew I was leaving soon. That song came on, and I said, "I'm going outside for a smoke. I'll be back."
That song is a great one. Bro.
That's the time in the night where Super Bass is for me. I'm going to the washroom.
So when Anaconda comes on, you've already vacated the premises.
If Anaconda's coming on in that same set, it's a blunt. I'll be outside for a long enough time.
God. See, this is what I'm talking about, people. The disrespect women are getting in hip hop for you got to recognize greatness, okay?
I like what I like. I like what I like.
You got to recognize greatness. Nicki Minaj is like Rick Barry. She's like the Rick Barry of hip hop, bro.
Why do you say that?
Because she's like one of the best players in the history, but it seems that like there's just like a segment of people that don't like her.
That's a good point. Or even don't even recognize her, we'll say. Yeah.
Right? So that's literally what Rick Barry is like.
Rick Barry, 100%. Because Rick Barry was nice.
Yeah. She's like Rick Barry, maybe even like Jerry West or something, or not, maybe like a John Havlicek, something like that. She's like an oldie but goodie, but she's a contemporary.
Yes,
right.
Yes. For all the people listening who are not basketball fans, we're saying Nicki is one of the best to ever do it, but doesn't always get spoke about like she is.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where she is right now. So Pink Friday 2. Do you have anything else preliminary before we actually dive into it?
I want to get right into production, and the song I want to start with is R&B.
I love that song.
Lil Wayne and Tate Cobank. Yeah, great song. It really reminds me of 2015, 2018 Chris Brown. I feel like Chris Brown has probably done like 20 songs on a beat like this.
so true.
That's on there. I think too, Nicki, this song I thought of because her making still music in this kind of space in terms of sonically. It's a good space for her to be in. I don't think that she fits as well in the kind of like electronic digital trap space.
Yeah, not so much.
I don't really see her in that as much.
I think she works well when electronic music is involved.
Actual electronic music, yes. But I think the electronic trap that's going on, I don't think that's where she's her best. Even drill, I don't think she's her best on that. And I think that she's so great lyrically. Like her lyrical dexterity is
next level,
insane. Insane. There's nothing she can't rap on. And so I think when there are rappers like that, you just get sucked in to just do anything. You know, you're like, yeah, I can rap on that. Why not?
Yeah, that's true.
And just because you can doesn't mean you should. And R&B is a song that it's like, this is not groundbreaking production. This is almost even a little dated, we'd say. I know 2018 is like 5 years ago. So this is not necessarily the sound right now, but they sound so good on this. This fits.
Yeah. What does it sound like? Make sure we have a description
for the YouTube people.
Yeah.
I would say it's a little baby strings, mostly keys. It's 808 free, but it is that kind of bass that is almost a staccato. It's a huge thump, but it doesn't linger. And it's very fast paced. That bass is just all over it, pretty fast paced.
Yeah.
A similar kind of time is like, you know, that Chris Brown Tyga Fan of a Fan.
Yeah. This is also early Megan Thee Stallion with Tina Snow.
That's what it sounds like. Tina Snow, Fan of a Fan. So that's kind of more what it sounds like. But R&B, I like that song a lot too. But that was a part in the project where I was like, okay, she got some good stuff on here.
Yeah, she definitely able to draw on that, like it's almost like electronic, a little bit 80s. Tina Snow, that sound. Because like Pink Birthday, which is the next track, this is my section on the project, by the way. Like from Let Me Calm Down, which I'm like, but really like R&B, Pink Friday, Needle.
This is the best part of the project, yeah.
Cowgirl, Everybody. Let me tell you, when we get to Everybody, shit. Okay, so Everybody, Big Difference, Red Ruby, The Sleaze. That's the section. That's like the juice.
And Fawad from Trini. Fawad from Trini.
You like that? I don't. Maybe I'm just like
you're not a dancehall.
Yeah,
I'm
not a dancehall. I'm not a dancehall dude.
Yeah.
So maybe my dad would like that track.
Oh, for
maybe
sure.
I'll play it for my dad.
For sure.
But yeah, that section is really where the juice gets to squeeze for me. But Pink Friday is another one, similar sound.
Pink Birthday, sorry,
is similar sound, right? That I also really enjoy. That like those keys, like it's like watery, it's almost like 80s.
I was gonna say it's kind of like wavy.
Wavy, yeah, wavy, like 80s type of keys. And she kind of is staying away from like the 808s, like those really like buzzing 808s. No sliding 808s. She's not really doing drill at all. And I love that. You know, I love that sound for her. I think that a song like Everybody, right, is like basically Everybody is where I think the major conversation about her production is really takes place, is because I think her music for this album super sample heavy.
Yeah, I have it.
Super.
I have it in here too. Yeah,
right. Like I feel like Everybody. What is it? Super
Pink Friday Girls.
Pink
Super
Friday
Freaky Girls.
Super
My
Freaky.
Life.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's not subtle.
Not subtle.
Zero subtlety. Right. This is
and all those songs can go. Like Everybody is the best. No, Everybody is the best out of all those. Everybody I think can stay. I think Pink Friday Girl, Super Freaky Girl. My Life is good.
There's also Barbie Dangerous.
Yeah, Barbie Dangerous.
Which is the Bone Thugs and Harmony and Biggie track.
Bone Thugs, yeah.
Which is Armed and Dangerous. I don't like, here's the thing. I don't like that she had the sample and also jacked
the name.
Not the name, and the name and the flow.
And the flow.
At the beginning. I didn't like that. Too much jacking it, bro. Like you cannot be jacking you can't jack the entire song.
Okay, look, I'm gonna give her some bail here, okay? Barbs, right. I got you. I think that for the older listener, it's a nod for them. Nicki Minaj is 41. Yeah. You know, like the same way you see Drake like back in the day when he did nothing but the same, shouting out Wu-Tang all the time, shouting out Ray, shouting out Ghost. Like that is almost like their era in a sense. Like we grew up listening to Nicki grew up listening to them.
Yes.
And so it's like it is a nod for her to that, where it's kind of cool maybe for her to sound the same. Because no one's making music like that anymore. Yeah. Even though it's not that different from anything, it kind of fits into what the album is. But if you're, around Nicki's age, you're probably amped to hear this flip, you know, because when I heard this come on, it brought back and I said, oh, okay. Even though again I was like, I've heard this before, I know what this is. The familiarity was cool to me, and there are situations where it's not, because I think on Super Freak, even though I love the actual song Super Freak, on this I was kind of like,
yeah, because here's the thing with Armed. See, I almost said Armed and Dangerous. I almost said it.
No, it is still very close.
It's too close. It's too close, and there's not enough changed on it, right? It's still the same reigning keys from Armed and Dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when she also uses the flow, you know, like it's literally at the very beginning too. It's not even like she's trying to, you know, she's like, Barbie dangerous, we bitches don't in dangerous. You are over us, in range of us, right? Because I won. That flow. I mean, maybe it's because we listen to hip hop, you know, as, like a lot. That's kind of like a little bit iconic flow.
and it's not her only time doing it, because she did that on the Meek song.
Yeah. Yes, she did. So like that's what I'm saying. I'm like a little bit too much. You jacking it too much, you know, and it's too obvious, right? Like there's definitely times where you can use a popular song, right? And it's not like, for example, Everybody. What is the name of the song? I can't remember the name.
I'll find it for you.
But the song that she's using for Everybody, super well known, right? She is. I don't want to say she doesn't use. It's more chopped, right? The the production is more chopped. It's more stripped away. Like the certain elements are stripped, right? Like the hoo, like the guitars and everything else. It's more like deconstructed is the word I'm looking for.
Your feet is the name of the song.
Move your feet, right? It's more deconstructed than the Barbie Dangerous song, which is literally just like a flip.
Yeah, that's more on the nose.
Like this is, you know, it has like, it's more of like a Jersey Club, like dance type of song, right? And her ability to use the everybody, that body section, and like keep using it in her lyrics, like stopping in her lyrics, is amazing, right? And that song in particular is like the one that I think I pressed repeat on like 5 times.
Damn.
Right? Because I just thought it was so perfectly done. I was stunned. Why is this not the single? This is the song that everybody talks about right now on social.
Yeah, this was the number one song on the timeline.
Yeah.
Like when I listened to this album, like when it just came out, this was like, I wasn't even there in the album yet, and I had to go to it.
Yeah.
Because the timeline was just...
everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm like, the sampling, and I think that Fantano, we don't talk about Fantano at all, actually, on our pod. But I did see the review. I didn't watch the review, but I saw the red flannel. I saw the red flannel, and I think overall, for people, when it comes to this album, that sampling that is so obvious and like I want to consider unartful is gonna ding her. And dings it, for me personally, it hurts her album, bro.
I think the word you use on unartful is what it is.
Yeah.
Because sampling is a part of hip hop. I know we think sampling started with Kanye West, even though it's not how it works. Sampling is a part of hip hop.
Yeah.
And I think that sampling is one of those things in hip hop where it is almost like trust. Like it's very tight rope. You lose trust, hard to get it back. With a sample, it's like either we really like it or we really don't like it.
Yeah.
And I think that we've seen a million times sampling works in terms of a song being a hit.
Yeah, obviously.
You know, Super Freaky Girl has, you know, almost 500 million streams on Spotify, which I don't know who those people are.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is one of those things where we do treat it a certain way. And I think about when Nas had that song with Lauryn Hill on the second album, you know, Ruled the World. And that sample is so hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't get hip hop in that sample. But people called him commercial for that, hated on it, when he's sampling the most, you know, underground hip hop basically ever at that time. And so I think that's just one of the things in hip hop that we always have a problem with, is that sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. But I think now, because in pop music it's become so big, it's almost getting less artistic. Like I don't mind the sampling if it's not so obvious, you know.
Yes,
or it's
exactly.
like it's only obvious because I know the song. Firstly, we're sampling the biggest songs now, which was not always the case.
Exactly.
Secondly, it's like, it's so obvious that someone could hear this song and think, oh, did she just rap over the beat? Is this a mix that someone did on SoundCloud? Like, that's what these samples are becoming. So I'm with you, because I have that in my notes too. Like, the sample heavy stuff, I really don't like. I want to mention one thing about Pink Birthday, because we kind of skipped through that a little bit. She's the only one doing songs like this.
Yeah.
That is what I want to highlight, because we're going to do the thing that every podcast hates, is put women against women. But if we're talking about female rap, or even rappers that sing, she's the only one doing a song like this.
Yeah.
And this has always been her repertoire. You think about Your Love on her first project. She's always had this like pseudo R&B bag that somehow people just can't. She is just so good at it.
I mean, that's her and Drake. That's part of the reason why her and Drake were so immensely, and continue to be immensely popular, is their ability to also rap and sing and tap into that R&B space that is so valuable to Black culture and hip hop in general. So that's the reason why, and that's the reason why somebody like Doja Cat is also as popular as she is, because she can do that too.
Yeah, it's that versatility that we talked about it before. It's all over this project. 2 more songs in terms of production before I have this mystery question for you.
Okay.
Just Some Memories, that bass line. And this is why I like that we talked about her not having these huge 808s, because if anyone who's like, into audio understands, like, a lot of these speakers weren't made for these crazy 808s, They're turning this up in the studio to a level that is not great for modulation. And sometimes when you go and you hear these songs, it may sound great maybe in your car or in your headphones, but at the function it's just and Nicki's avoided that completely.
Yeah.
But on Just Some Memories, there's a bass line on here. Oh, a delicious bass line.
Really?
It's very subtle. It flows throughout the song.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely so nice. It kind of gives like an R&B soul type of feel, but it's so good. And then Needle.
Yeah.
Needle to me sounds like it's a Honestly Nevermind reject.
Yeah, like that's how I felt too. Go ahead.
And I don't have a problem with Needle, so to speak, but I also think the timing of it is odd, because Drake has put out, 2 projects, whatever, since Honestly Nevermind that are not really that vibe. Hasn't put out anything since that's that vibe. Nicki,
it had a views vibe to it though.
Views, it's kind of a mix. Views, some people they said it's like that pseudo dance hall that he was doing.
Yeah.
I actually like this song. I think next year when the sun is out, well, at least in Toronto, I know some of y'all have sun, but when the sun is out, this will be a bigger song. This is one of those like, y'all be inside too much, get outside, the song will bump. But production wise, this one was just okay to me.
Yeah, I felt. Well, here's the thing. I didn't like Needle initially, but I found myself accidentally dancing to the song, so I had to admit that I liked it. If I was dancing to it, that means I had to have liked it. My body liked it more than my brain did. You know what I mean?
Couldn't help yourself.
So I had to admit that I liked it to an extent. You know,
you're dancing.
Yeah, because I'm dancing, so I have to. I have to have liked it.
Some kind of liked it.
But I think that Drake. I just feel like Drake could be doing so much better, more interesting.
Okay, well,
that's the thing. That's like a thing with Drake forever.
We'll make my Drake question quick, and then we'll move on to my mysterious question.
Okay.
So I saw someone say that this was a waste of a Drake feature. I saw someone say that about the J. Cole feature too. Maybe people are just choosing ways to hate. But is there a different song on here you would like to see Drake on? Because I like when Drake and Nicki rap. Seeing Green, Only, Moment for Life. When Drake and Nicki rap, it is something special. It's a moment, So is there anything else you want to see Drake on this project?
I think that if we were going to keep our, like Jamaican or patois vibe going, Ruby Red the Sleaze, he could have fit it. He could have done a little thing on that, I feel like but here's the thing. Drake would have to challenge himself to be on a song like that. Yes. Because that's not really his
that would be tough
space,
for him.
because it's like basically it's a reggae song.
Yeah.
Right? So for him to actually exist and know how to dance in that space, because that song, remember, there's been a million different.
Okay, we didn't even include that in talking about samples.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a million different songs with that rhythm, right? And there's even like a Canadian version of it. I can't remember what's the name of the song.
I don't remember. I know what we're talking about.
Right? And there's even like a Sean Paul version. There's so many different versions. So Drake has heard that song before. We've heard that song before. I know for a fact Drake has heard that song before.
That would have been huge. I think that's a good choice because I think, and this is kind of what Drake did with that One More Time when he had that on CLB, that flip. This song plays still to this day.
Exactly.
Like the original rhythm, you're going to hear 3 different voices on a set. There's no way Nicki's not going to be included in that now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Drake could have just, he would have to know how to navigate that space. But he's heard that song before.
That'd be impressive.
So it would have been, that would have been like a serious, like it wouldn't have been a chart topping moment. But
it could have been.
It could have been. It would have had to been spectacular.
Yeah.
But overall,
it could have been good.
It could have been pretty crazy for like, that would be one of those long tail type of songs where like, it was like, it's okay. Like, you know, people liked it. And then like 10 years in the future, like, well, I didn't know that Drake was on, was on this rhythm or something like that, So that song, I think most people would not think about it. You have to be Canadian or Jamaican or a combination of both to really see that.
The match there.
Yeah, the match there. Because that was possible. But I don't know if they saw it either.
Yeah, that would have been impressive if he hopped on that one. For me, and this is selfishly, I would love to see him on Blessings with Tasha Cobbs. Just because Drake, that's just so different for Drake.
That's a gospel song.
I did not see a gospel song coming on this project.
Me neither.
and the fact that like Nicki's part and the beat was good, I was like, okay, I like this. And then all of a sudden, the church started singing about Jesus. I was
like, what?
I said, wait a second.
That snuck up on me too.
But
I was like, what the fuck?
Drake doesn't have like a gospelish song like this. He has songs where he's really personal and really honest.
Yeah.
But not really like kind of preachy like this song kind of is. And as well, this is still a rap song. Like they're more in their R&B bag, even though Nicki is rapping. But to hear Drake rap kind of at this pace on this beat, I think he got some real bars off. Yeah. Now, before we get into the lyrics,
one more thing.
Okay,
it was "Never Leave You" by Lummy D.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right. That's the song. That's what I was trying to. I'm scratching my head because I've heard that. Like on a million songs.
Shout out if you know who Lummy D is.
Right. A million songs. Right.
That's a good one.
So the fact that actually got brought back around. Nicki Minaj is Jamaican, right?
She's Trini.
Sorry.
She's Trini.
And she's heard it a million times too. So like this is like.
Yeah, and we're not gonna talk about Fall Out from Trini, which is, you're not a big dancehall man, but having Skilly Bang and Skeng on that, if you know dancehall, you know how big that is. And Skilly Bang starting off the song, this gives the song that real flavor because this is almost like a watered down rhythm in a sense. You're talking about a dancehall rhythm.
Yeah.
It is kind of like a popish version of what a dancehall rhythm would be, but because you have Skilly Bang coming in with his voice at the beginning, it kind of fits like it would naturally. And then, this song that's in your favorite section, we'll call it, Cowgirl. Now, Nicki tweeted that there's supposed to be a female rapper on this song, and this female rapper turned her down. So who do you think it could be? I'll tell you what the internet has been saying, because it seems like you have not seen this rumor. And I agree with the internet. So
it's probably Ice Spice. Okay. No, but I don't think I think Ice Spice is.
They have a song together already.
Yeah, they have a song together again already, and she's kind of diligent. Doja Cat.
That's what the internet's saying it is. That's who I think it is too.
Yeah,
I could see Doja Cat saying no to this.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, because Doja Cat, as much as I don't think she has the lyrical dexterity to really take Nicki's crown or even to compete for it, she to me is the only one who's actually going for it.
Yes, I
think
agree.
The rest of these rappers are like, Nicki is Nicki, we ain't never gonna reach her. Doja Cat is behaving as if Nicki,
I'm coming for the crown
for you. So I could totally see Doja Cat saying no to this.
That's like that song exists right in between them two. Like that's easily could have existed on Planet Her easily,
right? And so it's like, again, Nicki clearly knows what she's doing in terms of features because this would have been an amazing Doja Cat feature. Yeah. But shout out to Lourdes who, how she even got to Nicki was a fan tweeted Nicki Lourdes' music says this woman's talented. Get in touch with her. You should work with her. This is about a year ago. A year later, she's on the album. So Doja Cat saying no got the opportunity for Lourdes. And we love that. Now, I'm really curious to see where you're at with this project lyrically.
Okay.
I'm very, very curious because I think Nicki has become the poster child in a sense for pussy rap. But I don't look at Nicki as a pussy rapper.
Not really, no.
She's more of a pop rapper at certain times. She'll get into her pop rap bag. But Nicki Minaj has not ever really been a pussy rapper to me.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I think that's just the patriarchy talking.
Maybe, because I feel like I think that every rapper raps about their sexuality, right? Even if it's not explicitly, in the way that I'm like almost making like academic by saying everybody raps about their sexuality. Every rapper raps about sex in some form.
Yes.
Right? And I think that Nicki Minaj belongs, she's a rapper in hip hop. She raps about sex. I think that here's the thing. Okay. I'm trying to organize my thoughts on this. I think that dudes, when they rap about sex, it's like 3 lines in a song, but they do it every song.
Yes.
Right? Whereas when women rap about sex, from what I can tell, they'll write one song and it's all about sex.
Yeah.
Or they'll write 2 songs, it's all about sex. And then the other songs, there's maybe like a sprinkle. Yes. Right? Like 1 lines, 2 lines, something like that. Where dudes is like every song they do, they rap about, girl did this, I did this to your bitch or whatever. Right? Like from what I can tell, Nicki Minaj is not really like that. Like she'll have like the 1-2 lines, that's it. And then she has like a couple of songs where like that's entirely what it's about.
And I think it's a part of her braggadocio. Also, it's Nicki fucking Minaj.
Yeah.
Like if anyone could talk that shit, it's Nicki Minaj. But it's part of her braggadocio. Like a difference, I think, is some men may say, "Oh, I fucked your bitch," or it's still a man against man violence in a sense. Like that's the premise, of the sexuality. Nicki's being like, "I'm the hottest bitch out. Everyone's trying to look like me. Everyone's trying to be me. He wants this ass. He wants this pussy." So I think we have to look at it differently, especially because it's bragging. At the end of the day, it's bragging. Yeah. And you do not see...
She's bragging about her sexual prowess, bro.
Exactly. Men are not bragging about, look how big my arms are. Look how great my shoulders are. That's just not how men talk in hip-hop. So it's like, if they did, that's what they would be saying. But it's not the same. So I think that's a big part of it. Lyrically on this project, I was impressed.
Me too.
Her lyrical dexterity has always been off the charts. The thing about Nicki, for me, I've never been a huge Nicki fan, because I felt like, her biggest songs were not always her best songs. But Nicki has had some amazing rap songs.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of her career. Always, always, always. Now, Let Me Calm Down, her first ever feature with J. Cole. I know a bunch of people waiting for that. I had never pictured myself wanting a J. Cole Nicki feature. Neither.
But J. Cole's on like a streak right now. He's doing the features with everybody.
Yeah, no, this is probably the second year where he's this feature king. But Nicki kind of went into J. Cole's world for this. J. Cole, he is kind of the therapist in hip hop now. And I'm looking at Let Me Calm Down as Audio Hug Part 2.
Okay.
That it is very much along those lines. J. Cole got some slack for how we talked about Summer Walker's baby daddy.
Yep.
In that song. He's getting some slack in this one. But I wanted to highlight Nicki's verse because, again, Nicki went into his world, and when you hear Nicki's verse compared to J. Cole's verse, you could tell who's more comfortable in this space. You know what I mean? Like, Nicki's verse is good, but you can just tell the difference. Yeah. And I appreciate Nicki for putting herself into that, because this is, again, one of the more deeper verses from her, talking about her personal life. We don't know that much about Nicki. Some people only heard about Safari 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But she gets into that
Safari.
bag. On verse 1, she says, "Pull off and I almost hit him. He acting like I ain't always with him. My heart saying I love him while I'm screaming that I hate him. Ain't no more debating, this time it's an ultimatum. I never forgot where I was the first day I met him. Yeah, I was love at first sight, but I ain't never sweat him." I love that she ends it with love at first sight, but I never sweat him. Hilarious. How can both things be true?
Yeah, she's got funny bars, man. I think that's one thing that is underestimated about Nicki Minaj. Funny.
Yeah, she got jokes.
She's alive. She's really, really funny.
The I fuck a horses line.
Yeah. Even when I was talking about the monster lyrics, it's like, yo, pop out of the Tonka cover of Willy Wonka. Like, what the fuck? Who's ever saying that? You know what I'm saying?
Clever lines.
Yeah. So she's obviously, again, she's very clever. Got very funny raps. She's one of those people that I would love to hear a song with her and like Ludacris. I feel like that would be one of the funnier.
They have a song, no?
Do they? I don't remember. I don't remember it.
I feel like they have a song.
I don't remember it at all. But I would love to hear like a.
Also, I would love to review a Ludacris album. That's a.
Yeah, that would be jokes too.
Yeah, My Chick Bad. There we go. I was like, I'm not crazy.
Yeah,
they do a song
way
together.
back in the day.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that her humor underrated, right? And she's definitely flexing it on this. I think that for me, one of the highlights is like we were talking earlier is the sexual prowess raps, right? Where on what song did you just reference? You were talking about
Let Me Calm Down.
Right? I'm talking about on Pink Birthday. Okay.
Oh, Pink Birthday's your track, eh?
Pink Birthday, it's not my track. Everybody is my track. That's my track. First, Everybody, I want her to do a remix on that, but I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Pink Birthday. It's your birthday. You could do what you want to. Got the champagne. Got your favorite blunts too. Thanks. Thank you very much. Do 6ix9ine before we do 1-2. On call and fuck me like you want to. Vanilla ice cream coming down my ass cheeks. Decent, throw it back, make clap cheeks. You like the way I smell. PF2. Bend me up, pretzel. Right? I think that you need to hear that. Hopefully we'll have the insert for the audio because I cannot do Nicki Minaj.
How she says pretzel?
Yeah, she was like pretzel?
Yeah.
Right? Which is a little bit but we'll allow it. Because I will allow this like once or twice on your album. And especially considering Nicki Minaj, her dexterity is so great that I'm like, okay, well, I'm only, like just like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has one or two of these in every album where it's like, not really, but okay.
It didn't really rhyme,
but we'll give it to.
But it fit, of course.
Yeah. But this part in particular, where she's talking about like she has the numbers 6ix9ine 1-2, right? The vanilla ice cream. She's going for the imagery, right?
Yo, as you said it, I opened Genius Annotation, and those two things at the same time was
the
a lot.
Imagery. She's not going for super explicit. She's going for the imagery, right?
Who wrote this?
Decent, throw it back, make cheese clap, and then he liked the way smell PF2. Which is the name of she had like a perfume that came out like corresponding with this album, and then he bent me up pretzel. So she, again, the sexual prowess, she's really going for that. She combination of the numbers, the blunts, all this type of stuff, the imagery is what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. Like she's really got it in her bag. I was like, when I was listening to that, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, holy shit, she actually said that.
Literally.
But holy shit, this is actually, she's going in.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just gonna let that one sit.
Oh, no. I'm happy you highlighted that one because that's definitely Nicki, like a big part of who she is.
Yeah.
Those, and this is different from pussy rap. That's why I like this is not pussy rap.
Right.
I'm happy you highlighted this because this is her talking her shit.
But here's the second part.
Okay,
I like you broke that up. It's like, now here we go. It's like, I let him have his cake and I let him eat it too. Right? He might jack and yell, let him beat it too. Pink birthday card. This is from me to you. Low key, because we just that ill now. Ain't never have a bitch till now. Post a pic. Got him jacking like Jill now.
We need the air horn for that one.
I know. And it's like, break the internet at will now. Right? So this is what I'm talking about, where, again, she's going for the imagery. Let him have the cake and eat it too. Right? There's a little double entendre right there. Cake. Right? He might jack and yell. Let him beat it too. Again, the Jack and Jill, the double, the Jack at the top, and then she did the Jack and the Jill at the bottom. Right? Loki, pink birthday card. This from me to you. That one is self-explanatory. I feel like I don't want to get explicit on our podcast.
It's too late.
I don't want to get explicit on the podcast. But the image, again, more imagery. Right? More imagery. So I think that, again, that song, again, sexually explicit, but she's doing her thing, bro. I don't really know how else to say that. The deftness of the rapping is actually really there.
Great rapping. Yeah. This is like birthday sex, but 2023. That's what the song is. This is 2023. My lyrics are a lot less sexual for the next ones. But that's a part of who Nicki is. So I'm happy that you touched on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just some memories. In verse 3, she said, I told Drake he don't owe me nothing, never did. I pray that Wayne always remembered that I never slid. Look at all the shit that y'all threw at me and I never dipped. Greatest female rapper to ever live, and that's on my kid.
Mm-hmm.
I could have overdosed. I could have been comatose. Wait, hold on, Juice. I feel the baby kicking. Holy smokes. I prayed for a son. My husband wanted one. If they ask about me, tell them I was one of one. This ending, especially being the last song of the album, last verse of the project, her fifth project, first in 5 years. I don't think Nicki's retiring, but I think this is Nicki kind of saying what we're all feeling of, like, it's solidified. You know, like, where I am, what I've done is solidified. Anything y'all get past this point is just gravy. You know, like, I'm the Diana Ross of hip hop. I'm the Aretha Franklin of hip hop. Like, I'm done. You know, if y'all see me perform, just be grateful. You know, and especially about this part, I could have overdosed, could have comatose. She talks on another part of the project about being addicted to perks. Yeah, never would have guessed that, but kind of makes sense because she did have, you know, surgery on her body. That's how a lot of people get addicted to painkillers. Yeah, so this is like another side of Nicki that we just are not used to seeing. You know, Nicki is almost Beyonce-esque in that way, where her fans somehow feel like they know a lot about her, but don't actually know a lot about her. And in her music especially, she's not sharing that. You know, if you're on the lives or your whole algorithm is Nicki and you follow the hairdresser and the makeup artist, you know, maybe you're in the know. But for us people to listen to the music, there's a lot that we've been missing over the years about Nicki. And this is the album where she kind of shares the most about her personal life. Talking about, I prayed for a son, my husband wanted one. If they ask about me, tell them I was one of one. Nicki as a mother, I think is gonna really take a kind of a different toll in her lyrics. You know, we've seen a bunch of lyrics about it on this project. Yeah, talking about family. You know, that song with J. Cole, people are calling that dirty macking. So we're just getting way more about her that we haven't gotten before. But I'm interested to see how her music is going forward with her new life as she's married now. She has a kid. You know, this is a different persona from the Nicki we knew before. Now, of course, I think she's still going to be sexy. I don't think that's going to change. But Nicki's basically been a sex symbol for 15 years. Yeah. You know, and how much does she want to be a sex symbol going forward? Because you can be sexy without fighting to be a sex symbol. True. And I think that's kind of where Nicki is going to be heading. And then ending the project like this is really a stamp, a point of emphasis, all of that. Because she's letting you know, like, yo, there's no debate. I am who I am. Talk about me crazy. And I get her. The internet can get crazy. No matter what you've accomplished, we've seen the internet bash Eminem over and over again. Yeah. So I'm happy she kind of said this in her own words, because she usually leaves it to her barbs to defend her and lets the internet do their thing. This is the one time I think she's properly putting it on wax. Yeah, I think that, you know, she's, again, brilliant. I think I'm definitely enjoying her being able to, like, explain to people a little bit further of, like, how she feels in the moment, because I feel like that was not a big part of her music at all in the past. But I would say this: there are duds. I'm trying to keep up. You ISO, because I'm done with lyrics. Okay. So you ISO with the duds. Barbs, y'all see. This is Démar ISO. Here's the thing. Okay. There aren't that many lyrical duds. I think that there's just, like, sequences where I'm just like, what? Like the pretzel thing I mentioned, right? Then there's this part on Let Me Calm Down, where she was like, I wrote a line for you, it was beautiful. I made a sign for you to say you're beautiful. You're so irresistible. Take me somewhere whimsical. You know, like, I feel like there can be a lot. I wrote a line for you and it was beautiful. Okay. I made a sign for you to say you're beautiful. You just said that. Can I give you a semi-hot take? Okay. This song shouldn't have had a chorus. I think if you just go Nicki's verse into J. Cole's verse, okay, that's a whole much better song. Because I think this chorus you're highlighting on Let Me Calm Down, subpar for Nicki, but subpar just in general. Yeah. And I think it doesn't do a good job of leading up to the heat that J. Cole comes with. Yeah. So I think that you're right highlighting this as being a dud. We could cut it out. Make this a no hook at all. and go straight through.
Yeah. So that's my thing. It's like there's like a little 1 and 2s, but there's nothing where I'm like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean?
No.
There's just like tidbits at the ends, basically the ends of certain verses or choruses. I'm just like, that's a flub. Like, again, I want to give her a little bit of grace with the pretzel thing.
Yeah.
But if, X rapper on the street said that, I'd be like, what is going on, bro? You have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what you're doing here. So I would say those are my lyrical problems. Those small duds at the ends. I don't want to highlight everything.
Yeah.
But I will say that does happen, right? And I've also tried to make sure that my review doesn't just sound crazy glowing despite my score.
Yes.
Which we're not going to get to the score yet because there's a couple other things I want to mention.
But we know.
What's your favorite song? I want to say, what's your favorite song?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, what's your favorite song? I didn't even talk about Everybody. Oh my God.
I thought you did, no?
Not
enough. I thought you did your thing already.
No. Okay, first of all, Everybody, right? Which is my number one favorite song on it's probably one of my favorite songs she's ever made, to be honest with you. Her ability to meld her verse with the everybody part coming in like every couple of seconds is pretty crazy. Hang on, I want to get the part exactly that I was talking about where she goes, we're gonna spin and kill everybody. These bitches fuck everybody, right? A nigga telling on everybody. We gonna spin and kill everybody. These bitches fuck everybody. So this is the hook, right? And then she's like, all these bitches on my body, spend another bag on my body, right? Nigga ain't it fucked a new body, right? Every whip heavy on it, new body, right? Shorty mad cause she ain't nobody. Pretty face with a Barbie doll body. Nothing year, another Vince Lombardi. That shit.
That part hits.
That shit. I'm like, yo, oh my God. When she goes for the Lombardi part, that shit was incredible to me. Because first of all, I never thought she would ever be referencing football.
I feel like, you know what's crazy? You know what? Continue. But I thought it's not even her first Vince Lombardi bar. That was my first.
I know. Yeah, that's what I thought about that. I was like, I don't think I would ever hear her talking about football. But then she did mention it. I can't remember what it was a pretty old song where she talked about Vince. Maybe it was like with Meek Mill.
Motorsport? Hold on. Let me see. But I feel like she had another Vince Lombardi bar before.
Right. But this time, this sequence I'm talking about, that body, everybody, like combo, to end every bar was incredible. And that another Vince Lombardi, that shit slaps. Like I sometimes go back to the song just to hear that bar. Okay. So that sequence, incredible. Some of the best stuff she's ever put down, straight up, right? And then overall with this track, Uzi did his thing. It wasn't spectacular. It was okay. I wish he was doing the same thing with the body thing.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it eluded him to say, I just want to rock your body. He never said that. That seems so obvious.
That's a layup. Yeah, that's a layup.
That seems so obvious to me because that's like a triple entendre. That was obvious. I just want to rock his song. I just want to rock your body, right? Michael Jackson. Like I felt like, and just like to include the sample. Like I felt like that was
maybe
so
it was
obvious.
too much of a layup. Maybe it was too much of a layup.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
And he said, I gotta go left.
But I liked his feature. I kind of hate that he missed that part. It was okay. Like I felt like his rapping over the body part didn't fully work out. But this track, I'm telling you,
it's crack to you.
I love this song, bro. I love this song. And I want to say, I want this. I don't know why, or I do know why, but I want this song to have like a huge remix. Like I feel like this song is.
Yeah, you want this to be one of those old remixes.
Yeah, like the pause. Yeah, with like 8 people. You have a song called Everybody, and not everybody's on it.
I think that'd be fire, but I don't know if everyone could rap on this. Like I think why I'm not as gung ho about that as you are.
Yeah.
Is Uzi would be someone you guess who could rap on this well, and you said he disappointed you. Slightly. But it's like, think about all the dudes that can't rap on this who will get the look because it's a moment. It's a moment. I don't want this song to be it's a moment into something it shouldn't be. Because when I think of who can rap with it, I think of someone like Kid Cudi. I don't think he'll be on the remix.
No, come on. I'm thinking about like
but he could rap. He will do well on this. This is something he's accustomed to.
But you got to do the
Wiz Khalifa.
Yes.
I don't think they're not getting the call. The guys I'm naming are not.
Yeah.
Wale not getting the call. But those are the dudes you want like the best rapping on this type of beat. Those are the ones I would call.
I will want who would we want on the feature for this song? I think obviously Drake. Obviously.
I can't see Drake rapping on this.
Okay, fine, not Drake.
Yeah, it's like
we won't do Drake. Okay. Uzi was a layup to me.
Okay.
I think that Ice Spice would work super well on this.
Ice Spice I could see.
Super well on this. I think that who else should have been on it?
I think someone like Smino, even though he's not in the realm.
Smino would have been crazy on this.
Smino would have ate on this for sure.
Smino would have been crazy on this. A$AP Rocky would have worked well on this.
A$AP Rocky would have ate this too. Yeah.
And you got to do because I'm thinking of the artists that stop. You know, like they're able to like stop their flow or have a crazy flow control. Somebody like A$AP Rocky.
Yeah.
I mean, the flex that he would have on something like this, because remember, she did like another, got a new bag on my body, like shit like that. That's just like
A$AP would totally kill that. I think about a song like Wrath, which is kind of a lot like that, and
exactly
Uzi and A$AP are on that song together. Like that's like an example of what you're talking about, where they take this flip with this one word and just
keep flipping and keep flipping and keep flipping. So that I don't know if it'll ever happen. Probably won't.
Yeah.
But I would love a huge remix. Just like put everybody on this shit.
I think there will be a remix, but I don't know if it will be what you're looking. My guess is it will be this all women, and it'll do something
that would work for me too.
Something like that, and it'll be like. Well, her and Meg don't get along, but it will be, maybe Ice Spice. Yeah. Hopefully Doja Cat, something like that.
Doja Cat will work on it.
So long story short, everybody's your favorite song. And the best song you're saying.
Not even. I mean, is there anything even close? I don't even think there's anything even close, bro. Yeah, it's so good.
Everybody's a really good song.
It's so good.
I think for me, it's probably Nicki Hendrix. We haven't talked about song at all. But I saw Nicki's tweet about that song and about Future and how he's so underrated and people don't understand what he does. And
talk to him, Nicki. Talk to him. I've been trying to explain to these people and they don't understand.
These people
as in the person that sits across from me.
But I think that song to me is a Future song.
Yeah.
That Nicki's a part of.
Yep.
But that's the kind of Future that I like. I did an interview here last week and we were talking about those old Future mixtapes. I got the name of the song now, but the song where he's talking about fuck that nigga, get it over with. That Future. This is that Future, And so that's probably one of my favorite songs. But honestly, I'm not as in love with everybody as you are. That's a crazy sentence. But there's a good number of songs here that I feel like could be anyone's favorite on any given day. Yeah. Because she has a bunch of different vibes on here. Red Ruby the Sleaze, there's a world where that's someone's favorite. Yep. Fawad from Trini.
That's another one.
Same deal. There's a few like Super Freaky Girl and even Bam Bam. Even though I like Bam Bam, I'm like, if that's your favorite song, I'm not sure. And it's crazy. I thought Bam Bam was supposed to be another flip, like another sample.
Yeah, me too. A Bam Bam. Yeah, I thought it would be.
And I said, thank God it's not.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not. But and then last time I saw you, we didn't talk about that song at all. That was one of the songs first time I heard this album. It's crazy making that the second last song on this project.
I didn't like that really.
But that's one of the most popular songs on here. It's one of the most streamed songs on the project. But that is another one where I'm like, this is Nicki in her pop bag in a way that not anyone can do. Yeah. But I like that song as well. Not my favorite, but it's so different from the rest of the project. If that's your favorite, I could get that because that just may be your vibe, and that's just what you want to hear. So
it didn't work for me.
Yes,
but it could work for you.
Okay, so let's talk about the cohesiveness of the project. Yeah, and where this puts Nicki in her career as a whole. Okay, I think cohesiveness. I'm gonna start grading this on a curve. Starting now, going into 2024. Me and you both complain every single week about how long these albums are. And this one is no different. 22 songs, It's
an hour and 10 minutes.
An hour and 10 motherfucking minutes. But this is what it is now. It's rare when we see an album come in short. When an album's short, it's like 16 songs now. An old short album was 10. Yeah. Like a Jackman. That's the only 10 song album we have of the year, unless we're gonna count the Central C and Dave, which was like
That was 4. It was an EP. It was 5. It was an EP.
And Brent Faiyaz got close.
Yeah.
With Larger Than Life.
Pink Pantheress.
I think she was 14.
Yeah, 14.
But 14 is the new short album.
Yeah.
When that wasn't the case. The original like album length was 12. That was like 12 was the number you were aiming for. If you got more than 12 and it had to be on there, it had to be on there. But you aimed for 12. This is 22.
Yeah.
So in terms of like too many songs, that's obvious, but I'm just gonna leave that alone for the time being.
There's too many songs.
Because this is everybody. Our favorite artists are doing this, like this is not stopping anytime soon.
Yeat, bro. Yeat has a million songs on his project.
Not anytime soon. I don't think it's stopping. So in terms of some cohesiveness, I think this project does have some, but I wouldn't say it executes all the way because like that section that ends at Fawad from Trini at number 14, that goes into those sample heavy Pink Friday Girl, Super Freaky Girl, My Life. Yeah. That section doesn't have really a flow to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I think from Let Me Calm Down to Fawad is a flow, and that's a flow in such a unique way because not all the songs sound the same. Let Me Calm Down is different from R&B, different from Pink Birthday, different from Needle, And to have all those different sounds, but it still flows, that's what I think is the best part of the project because there's probably 6 different sounds just in that section alone, but it flows somehow. But overall, as a full project, I would say it's lacking.
Yeah, me too. I think that that middle section that I talked about, that's again like it's just the Bella.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that there's a level of like because of her versatility, which I think she has immense versatility, where she raps, rapping, singing, rapping in patois, which she does.
Yep.
Right? She has this versatility, and the same thing with Drake. It's just like gets to a point where you're trying to do too many things at the same time.
Yes.
Right? So I think that that's also an issue for her where I'm just like, there's too many genres, right? Like you can get off like I feel like right now, currently, you can get off like 3 genres in a project.
I'm screaming.
But if you're trying to do 4 or 5, which she is really trying to do, she's trying to do like, like she's just trying to straight up rap. And then she's got the super freak, the pop fusion. Then she's got the dance hall, and then she's got like the dance hall with like the skilly bang, but then she's got the dance, the kind of pseudo dance hall with Drake. Like there's too much shit happening. She's got like the R&B-ish type track,
the reggae,
like like there's so much shit happening. This is too much. So that's like my biggest issue. I do think like when it gets to the bottom, also the gospel track. She has a gospel track.
Yes, there's a
full-on
gospel track.
See what I'm saying? Like there's just too many different things happening at the same time. That's my issue with it when it comes to like cohesiveness. But when you get to that middle section,
it's good.
She's in the driver's seat, bro. So I think that's my biggest issue when it comes to cohesion. Overall for her career, though, this project, I think. What do you think? I want to hear what you think about when it comes to her career.
I think this solidifies her. Okay. I think this is. It was. I don't think it was a question before, but this is how I would say it is. Not only is she the GOAT, that no one is close. I think that for the past few years, we've talked about all these female rappers kind of like in a group, as like Nicki versus Cardi versus Meg.
Yeah.
We need to stop that. I think this album is clear that it's like there's Nicki and there's everybody else.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think this will have her. Her tour is already, selling out and it hasn't even properly gone on sale yet. So I think that this album, this part of her career, really does that. I think she has real hits. I think Queen didn't have as many real true blue hits as she's accustomed to. You just had a soundgasm over everybody. That there's some true blue hits on here. Needle, I think, will be a kind of a slow burn, but will eventually become a huge song.
Yeah.
So this is going to kind of solidify her in a way that she technically already should be. But because Queen didn't have as many hits, this is the one that's solidifying her.
Yeah, I think that for her, this is just like, I agree, where she's just kind of like, she's above everybody else.
Yeah.
When we're talking about women in hip hop. She's
and most men.
And most men, legitimately though.
Yeah.
That's not even a joke. That's like
maybe 1-2 names you could put with her.
Legitimately, she's just above so many people. And I think this is just her kind of like, just like standing on the platform, being like, hey, remember it's me though. Like, make sure everybody remembers. And I think that overall for her career, I think it's just like, another step, it's just like another building block in her greatness, just like another statue in the hall, another bust to put on display.
Literally.
Right. She's Nicki Minaj is, she's a queen. She's a queen for real though.
Yeah. It's not even close. We've said that probably 40 times in this podcast, but we got to make it clear, like, it's her and then everybody else.
I would say it's her, then Doja Cat number 2, and then everybody else currently. I think Doja Cat is a cut above. She's a cut above the Nicki Minaj. She's a cut above the like.
You got Doja Cat ahead of Cardi like that. That's interesting.
Ahead of Cardi B, of course.
That's interesting. Okay.
Cardi B has one album.
Listen, I'm just putting the names out there, man. Don't shoot the messenger. Let's put the names out there.
I think Doja Cat is pretty comfortably in number 2.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but I think Cardi is who a lot of people say is the next one to really grab the throne. We'll see about that.
I think via cultural relevance,
yes.
I think Cardi B's cultural relevance is actually astounding. If you really think about it, she has one album and somehow has maintained this cultural relevance through features. Married to Offset.
Well, and this is a whole separate conversation, but Cardi was this before she even had the album out.
She was that. Yeah, her personality was
before
just
music. She already had a section of the internet on lock. So now she just has a bigger section of the internet on lock. But Cardi's always had it like that. Let's talk about the vinyl. I feel like I know the answer to this one, but we're gonna go there anyways. Are you gonna be getting the vinyl?
It's a reluctant no, because I think I love the cover. I think the cover looks actually incredible.
Yeah.
She looks ethereal. I like the colors.
How do you feel about this concept that she's on this subway in heaven? New York City, it looks like in the background.
Yeah. I love it. I think it looks amazing. That's why I say it's a reluctant no, because this is something I would get just for the cover. I think it looks awesome.
I'm just going to nitpick just to see if the Barbs have a problem with this. Nicki Minaj taking the bus, though? Is that really believable? Nicki Minaj on public transit? Are we buying that? I think that's less likely than a bus stop being in heaven.
Right.
So that's...
Maybe she was young when she was younger.
Sure. Young Nicki on public transit. But that's my only thing. She moved to New York in her 20s. Can we see Nicki Minaj on public transit? I don't think so. But other than that, I'm joking. I love the cover.
The cover looks so good.
Her huge chain, I think is really cool.
Her hair looks awesome.
Yeah, the hair is awesome. I think I would cop this vinyl. I don't know. Here's the thing. I feel like there's more songs on here that I would bump because the album is so long. That there's a lot of songs on here that I would bump from a Nicki Minaj album. Right. Either this or the first Pink Friday. If I was going to get a Nicki Minaj vinyl, those would be the two.
Yeah.
So maybe just get them both. This will be part of the sequel, 1 and 2. But I think this album actually. It's very borderline vinyl worthy.
Yeah.
The album art takes up a couple of notches.
I agree.
There's definitely some sections that drop it a couple of notches.
I agree.
I think it being an hour and 10 motherfucking minutes also is a huge problem.
I agree.
But there's a lot of good songs on here. Like a lot of good songs on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good songs, And like they're I usually talk about, when talking about the 10 out of 10s, it's not a 10 out of 10.
No.
But when I'm talking about the 10 out of 10s, what usually holds like something from a 9 to a 10 is like, I don't have the one song that I could show somebody.
You have that.
This has like 3 of those songs. You'd be like, yo, you want to hear Super Freak, Freaky Girls, or you want to hear Everybody, or you want to hear, Armed and Dangerous, depending on the type of person. You might want to hear Barbie.
Armed and Dangerous.
Barbie Dangerous. You might want to hear that song. So that's one thing about this is that there's a lot of standouts that I can be like, boom, boom, boom. You gotta listen to. Like that would draw people in overall. But yeah, I think I love the cover. I'm not getting the vinyl. Now, for the moment of truth, Adriel, your score.
Okay, well, I think it makes sense that I go first.
Okay.
Pink Friday 2, Nicki Minaj, her 5th studio album. This for me is a 7.5.
Okay.
This to me is her best album.
Okay.
I think that the versatility she shows on here, she hasn't really shown before on a full project. I think the mix of actual great rapping with hits like Everybody and Needle and Ruby Sleeve, she hasn't had that mix before, I think, in the same way. So to me, this is her best project. I have it at 7.5. Honestly, I would give this an 8 if it was not so long. Like if this is, even with all the samples,
Yeah.
if you just make it shorter, this if it was 16 records, this is probably an 8 for me. But this to me is her best album. This to me, not her most important album, but definitely a big important album in her career.
Yeah.
And I think this album has something for everybody. Not in the way she did it before of like something for pop, something for rap. This has something for everybody. She got something for the R&B heads, something for the hip hop heads with Barbie Dangerous, something for the Jersey club people with Everybody, something for the dancehall, something for the reggae, something for the gospel. So, and she does a good job at all of those things.
Yeah.
So for that, I had to give it a 7.5 because I don't know if we've seen this kind of versatility in one project all year and done well at all these bites at the apple, because the songs that we didn't like aren't the reaches into a different genre.
Yes,
it's her in her home genre doing something crazy.
Exactly.
So yeah, 7.5 for me.
So I would say that for me, this is a 7 flat. Like this is the flat, like 7.000000000, right? Where I like you said, the things that hold her back are the songs that are not the ones that stick out like bombastically. It's like you're very average, you know, Bomb Bomb, My Life, you know. I'm not a big fan of Nicki Hendrix personally. But those just like, it's just a rap song. Yeah. Those are just rap songs.
Yes, we've heard that before.
Right? So those don't really do anything for me. That's why I was talking about that middle middle section has the features, the different genres, all that type of stuff. That's the middle section. When you get to your beginning, right, where you're FTCU or Falling For You, and then when it's to the back end, like I said, Bomb Bomb, My Life, Nicki Hendrix. Blessings I did like, but I felt duped by Blessings. I felt like they tricked me into liking Blessings.
They definitely tricked us.
But that middle section, like Let Me Calm Down, R&B, Pink Birthday, Needle, Cowgirl, Everybody, Big Difference, Red Ruby Da Sleaze. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. And I think that they're so good that I'm like, this is pushing it over. Because in a normal sense, this would be like a 5.5 or a 6. But because those songs are so strong and how good that they are, that it's like, okay, this is actually really good shit. You know what I mean? So it's not an 8. It's a 7. I think the cohesion, is hurt. Yeah. The not the features, the production thing. Yeah. The samples. The samples is like, that's a problem. And I don't even think it's her specific. I think it's a growing problem in hip hop where artists are just using the most obvious samples and not flipping them, changing them in any sort of artful way.
It's very safe, and I understand it because some of these artists can't afford to not have a hit. Yeah. You know, so it's like, say she wasn't sure about some of these songs, like Needle, for example. I don't, because she did tweet, everybody she almost didn't put on this because she made a song for Call of Duty. And that was really? Like, she just happened to put it on here.
That's crazy.
So think about a song like that you love, a song like Needle that's the most streamed out of the new songs. If they're not sure about a hit, Super Freaky Girl is like, okay, we got one. You know, we will have a hit on this project no matter what. I'm done with that playing safe. I feel like artists got to cut that out. You have the talent, flip the sample a better way. Like, this safe song is like, who is looking forward to Super Freaky Girl when they go and see Nicki Minaj? Yeah, is someone in the crowd being like, play Super Freaky Girl? Like, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, and I think that it's formulaic, and it's also it's familiar, but it's familiar in a bad way because I'm like, I just want to hear if I'm gonna listen to this song, just play the real song.
For sure.
Just play the real song. So she has a little bit of a problem with that. Barbie Dangerous. That one's debatable. Yeah. That one's debatable. It hurt me because I did listen to that song a lot. I was a big Biggie, Tupac, 90s hip hop fan. But songs like, Super Freaky Girls, like that's unartful, bro. Like I can't say that any other way other than like
get it out of here.
That didn't work properly when it came to artistically. But Ruby Da Sleaze, that was good.
Worked.
So yeah, that's it for me. It's a 7. Good. We're saying it's good.
I don't know if that's good enough for the Barbs. I think anything less than an 11, I think the Barb's gonna have a problem with.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a good project.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I'm excited we actually got to review a Nicki Minaj album.
too.
Because there's a lot of artists who they just haven't released since we've been doing this, like your boy Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when we get to review one of their albums for the first time, we can talk about them as a whole.
Yeah.
And that's what happened here with Nicki. So
Yeah, that's why this one ran so long.
yeah, excited we got to do this. Hope all the Nicki fans enjoyed this podcast. Please stay with us. Subscribe on YouTube at Album Mode Pod. Follow us on the interwebs at Album Mode Pod on TikTok at Album Mode Pod, on Instagram at Album Mode Pod, on Twitter, of course. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars, not a single star less. I read some of our reviews over the weekend. Thank you for anyone who's left a review. Very nice words. We do appreciate it. Help us get up those rankings. And of course, until next time, know yourself, know your worth.
Later, people.